Hey everyone, what is going on? Raven here, welcome back. Have any of you ever heard of Women Who Kill? It is something like a little documentary series that kind of shows women and talk about their story and how they murder people. We're going to talk about one in particular. We're going to talk about a woman named Amber Hilberling, who was convicted of second-degree murder in 2013. Now, it is following an incident in which her husband Josh was pushed through an apartment window and fell to his death. Now, why am I mentioning this? Well, because she was on there. It is said in 2011, when he was pronounced deceased, he fell from a 25th floor of an apartment block that he lived with his 7 months pregnant at the time. Amber, like his wife Amber, was 7 months pregnant at the time that this happened. She was convicted of pushing her husband to his death, but she always maintained her innocence, saying that it was an accident and that she was acting in self-defense. Basically, what she tried to say is that they were fighting, emotions were running high, they were pushing each other, and he went backwards out the window and just disappeared. That is what she would have said. That is actually what she has said. If I can find a recording of that, I'll place that recording around here.
Oklahoma.
We were in Tulsa because he had gotten kicked out of the Air Force for drug abuse, and he just got back into the old stuff. I mean, he started doing drugs again. He started wanting to sell drugs again, and I was just sad and disappointed and angry, and that caused for the fighting and the, everything that happened that shouldn't have happened. Escalated from there, and we started pushing each other back and forth. He grabbed my shoulder. There were even pictures of the bruising. He was digging his hand into me, and when I pushed him off, and that's where the scratch came from. And he fell back, hit the wall or something, and then I was standing 2 or 3 feet away, and it all happened so fast that I remember pushing him back off of me, and then all of a sudden I remember looking at a broken window.
Now, she had her interview in 2015. She was told to talk, that she was pregnant, trying to protect herself, and she unintentionally pushed her husband through an apartment window. Now, it was said that they were fighting. Her husband is 6'6" tall. He was also a military veteran. It is also said that he was discharged from the Air Force due to drug use and trying to sell drugs. And that was what they argued about, and that's what caused this whole thing to happen, at least according to Amber. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know if we will find out that's what they were fighting about, because the only 2 people that would know are both now deceased. And I say that because I will tell you why in a moment. So she is one of 3 women featured in the Women Who Kill, a 2-part documentary from Channel 4 that investigate what pushes ordinary women to kill people who they know and sometimes who they love. It's interesting to see how these women can be so, like what they said, ordinary. They could be loving wives, loving daughters, and they commit a horrible crime. They explore the circumstances surrounding Josh's death. They interview Amber about what had happened. However, in October 2016, after filming had ended, Amber died in prison while still serving her 25-year sentence. The newspaper reports that Amber's death was ruled a suicide after she was found hanging in her cell. And as horrible as that is, that she did not get through her whole sentence, she might have been able to get out and help raise her child, which hers and Josh's son, she named Levi. Now, Amber's parents discussed their daughter's death with the TV show and with an interview. They claimed that the Mabel Bassett Correctional Center, where Amber was being held at the time, called them to say that she has passed away, but instructed them to watch the news if they wanted any more information about the circumstances surrounding her passing. I feel like that's a little cold towards the parents, because the parents are the one that have custody of their son Levi, and they're the ones that they didn't do anything wrong. So the fact that this is all claimed here, I'm gonna link it like I always do for you guys. The fact that that was what they said, that's kind of cold towards the parents. You know what I mean? So when they asked Amber, now I'm talking back about during the Women Who Kill show, they asked how she would describe her husband. She said charming, irritating, smart, and annoying. She goes on to say that he was a good man, that he was also kicked out of the U.S. Air Force for drug abuse, and that he wanted to start doing and selling drugs again. And that, she expressed that she was sad, disappointed, angry. That caused the fighting, and that caused him to be pushed out the window. She says that Josh had broken a window earlier that day during a fight, which had begun because Josh had decided not to attend her father's wedding because he wanted to, quote-unquote, sell pills again. And that ultimately led to his passing. And I want to mention this. So Amber wrote a letter, and it came in the mail. That she wrote it the day before she died. Now, this is what she wrote. I am willing to do an interview despite my honest reservations. This is all that she's wrote in the letter, okay? Now it makes it clear that she's been burned before by journalists promising to listen. She says, please understand the misfortune I've suffered from media interviews I had agreed to do on the popular promise of helping me. She explained, however, why she is willing to set aside her concerns to speak with these individuals. She said, because I can't let go of the hope that using my own voice in conversations about my own life will be the one and only chance I have to change the circumstances of my own reality. A jury found her intentionally pushed her husband, Josh, to his death from the 25th floor of an apartment in Tulsa. She denied it until the end. Although her death was ruled a suicide by what appeared to be hanging, she expressed no despair in the letter that she mailed. Her words seemed focused and well written. Obviously, she had a story she wanted to share. Now, do we think for sure that she actually ended her own life? Could someone have done that? Could someone have wanted her to not talk? I don't think we will ever know. It was ruled a suicide. I don't think we will get any more than that. But what do you guys think of this story? When I watched this, I thought it was definitely interesting. And honestly, I didn't know what to believe at first. Because, from what I've seen, she's a pretty lady. She's a pretty girl. Had a decent looking family. This is just something you would not believe would happen. And that's probably what makes it so scary. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section down below. If you do want me to look more into stories like this from the Women Who Kill, I would be happy to do those videos for you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Spoiled, rich, spouse abuser. Josh was painted as a military hero. He got kicked out of the military for manufacturing drugs and no one knows that. When I tell people he got kicked out within 9 months of serving, they're like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, you want to see the paper? It's right here. Right here. He gave this to me. It's right here. No one knows that.
One little side note at the very end of this video here, I do hope you all enjoyed today's video. Now, the snippets of the interview and things like that I did receive, I got from Our Life YouTube channel. So make sure that you guys go ahead and I'm going to link the whole video in the description for you guys. So you guys can go watch the whole thing and learn from not only her story, but some other women's stories as well. But I really wanted to bring it to a point that I did borrow from this person, but they have the rights to the whole thing. This is their video. I just have little snippets kind of explaining Amber's using her words to help you guys see that I'm not just making this up. So again, I did borrow some of these interview snippets from the Our Life YouTube channel, so make sure if you guys do want to watch the whole thing, I will link the whole entire video that I got these snippets from in the description. I will link their channel as well, just so that way you guys can go and show them support and everything else.